the Rebbe continues in Sifei. Mamshech b'Maimer, the Tzemach Tzedek continues in his Hasidic discourse, 8 biur, another biur, b'chamishim shari bina. A second explanation, the chamishim shari bina, shtei pamim, the two gates of bina. Sheheim, what are the two gates? Sheheim b'shnei oifanim. The mamata l'maylo, mamaylo l'mata. That they are in two formats. One is from above, below to above. One is from below, above to below. That this goes on the emotions. On the emotions, it says Hagdula means generous, Gvura means strictness, Tiferes means beauty, Netzach means victorious, and Heid is the shine and the consenting and modesty, humility, bittul, nullification. Kechil b'shamayim v'oretz, Kechil goes on Yesod, the attribute of Yesod. So we have here Chesed, Gvura, Tiferes, Netzach, Heid, Yesod. 6 meters, 6 spheres, attributes. Then we say L'cha, we say L'cha Hashem Agdula. They are all to you. What is the word L'cha? Add up to 50. That it's 50. Why 50? Because every midah, there's 5 midahs, and every midah consists of 10 sections. It's comprised of 10 factors, so 5 times 10 is 50. At least this still makes sense today, in today's world. 5 times 10 is 50. V'chol is b'gematria nun. And kol b'kechil b'shamayim is again 150. So this is where you have the 250s. V'koi alhei amidas. This goes on the 5 emotions. Gedula, gvura, tiferes, netzach, v'hei, shem ikri amidas. They are the main part of the midas. In other words, they are the main part of the midas, the essence of the mid of the emotions. Shekol achas mem klulam meyud, that each one of them consists of 10. Elo shelachahu memato lamayla. When we say l'cha, that means to you, that means committed, that means that they stand in a status of awe and feeling overwhelmed and committed to the Eibishter. This is the l'cha, below to above. V'chol imamayla l'mato. When we say kechil b'shamayim v'aretz, what is the kechil? Kechil goes on the attribute of Yesod. The attribute of Yesod is b'shamayim v'aretz, attaches heaven and earth. Attaches Asilos and Bria. And therefore this is the introducing the last attribute, which is Malchus, royalty, because this is how it's drawing down the revelation from above in below. So this is Kechol. This Kechol is from below, from above to below. So there's 2 formats, statuses of the attributes. There is from below to above, there's from above to below. There is a Tnuah, Aderech, like we say Friday, there's called Durmito Dezoh. The Mita Dezah means there's union of sleeping. Sleeping. A person sleeps, what happens? There's an elevation. His mind, his faculties, everything is actually in a concealed state. The mind doesn't function normal. He's dreaming things which you would never have an idea why you dream these things. And then he has all the different parts of the body are all like in a ifn of halor, an elevation from below to above. They are removed from their regular functions. This is, the same thing is also Friday. Friday, the Zohar, the attributes of Zohar are in a state of elevation from below to above. They are elevating to a higher level because of Shabbos. Then there is a state in which they draw down a revelation to Malchus.
Is Erev Shabbos you're talking?
Right. Kabbalah. It's called Durmito de Zohar. That Zohar has a union of sleep then. In other words, it's not the union of sleep the way we understand it. It is, we're speaking about attributes. It is the attributes as they find themselves in a state of how we explain what sleep is. How we understand what sleep is, which is basically removed from the physical world. All the worlds elevate to a higher level. Then, and that's why it says the Alter Rebbe would fall asleep then, and the Rabbeim, this was all as a result from the time. And they say, oh, we find it also by other Siddim. So you say, no, it's a big difference. There's a big chassid called Rabbi Hillel Paritcher. So they say he went to sleep. It says the Alter Rebbe would fall asleep automatically because Lamaila, in the higher worlds, this was a time that a state of sleep. And therefore the Alter Rebbe here was a chariot to the higher worlds, as the Rebbe Rashab says in a Sikha in Teira Sholem, The Rebbe Rashab says that the Alter Rebbe, whatever happened L'mayla happened L'mata by the Alter Rebbe. The Alter Rebbe moved his right hand. Chassidim would interpret Midas HaChesed L'mayla is functioning L'mayla. It was a channel. A Rebbe is a channel. So therefore, this is from above to below, from below to above. Then there is above to below, how it's being drawn down through the attribute of Malchus into the lower worlds. The Yichud of Zoh and Malchus, which is actually hashpoas that we get from the higher worlds.
What's the Zoh again?
Zoh is Chesed, Gvura, Tiferes, Netzach, Hayid Yisei, these spheres.
In Torah, 2 days ago, he talks about the 10 spheres of Zoh.
That's the spheres of Zoh. He means everything, no? He means probably from Chachma Bina, he means everything. In general, it's Zoh and Malchus. So he calls the Spheres also Chabad, also included. Unless we're talking here that every one of them consists of 10, as he's going to say further. The Pashtus of it, making 10 spheres. So the Rebbe is saying like this: there's the Lecha, which means they are in a state of elevation, connecting to higher, standing in a state of nullification. This is Lecha Hashem Agdula. Shekol achas mem klula miyud, they all consist of 10, and then v'cheil is momayla lamata. V'cheil is the other end, which is to draw down, the function of drawing down. And the Rebbe explains, the baliyas hamidas l'shorsham hein bebitul. Shaz, the midas elevate to their roots, they are in a state of nullification. Shehem einam tefsim mokim, they don't have any separate entity. L'cha. They're connected completely to the Eibishter. As the MaMaar from Podav Sholem, Tofrish Pei, from Tov Shalamet, from the Rebbe, Hasidic Discourse in Yutas Kisel, 1920, from the Rebbe Rashab, and from the Rebbe, 1970. The Rebbe speaks that L'cha Hashem Hagdula, what does it mean? It's Hu Mekeme Shel Eilam, Ve'eino Eilam Mekeme. That the Eibishter is the mokim of the world, but the world is not his place. Is not a place for him. In other words, the world is not a vessel for him. The world is not in a state that could serve as a vessel for him. But fakir, they are completely bottled to the Eibishter. And who is the one that creates place? He himself. He is the one that makes up Mekeme Shel Eilam. Who Mekeme Shel Eilam? Ve'eino Eilam Mekeme. Place is not is not like it's a separate entity. This is what Chassidus wants to bring out. It's not that world is a separate entity, and it's an area where he finds himself because he is the one that's creating the place. So the same thing is also. So Chassidus explains, L'cha Hashem Agdula V'Gvura is not just the attributes. It speaks about all the dimensions. All the attributes are the dimensions of Mizrach, Ma'ariv, Tzof, and Dorim, Mailo Mata. So it's actually the 6 midas, the 6 dimensions. And when we say L'cha Hashem Agdula, the Rebbe Rashab says the MaMaar, and the Rebbe brings the MaMaar, that explains that this is the inyan that Mokim is bottled to the Eibishter. We say L'cha Hashem Agdula, it's not just the attributes. The attributes, as they are a source for place, for physical space here, and this shows that everything stands in a state of nullification to the Eibishter.
It's connection to the Star of David with the 6 column.
I'm not familiar with the Muslim there. There's many Muslim on that. Over the pale, it's the lecha that it's not tefes mokim, and this speaks about these are these roots for all the dimensions, the physical dimensions in the world. Ukishehein nimshachem milmayla lamata, when they are nimshach, when they are drawn down, ve'at shenimshachem b'midas ha'yiseid, through they come the union of yiseid, the attribute of yiseid, which about it is said, Kikil Bashamayim v'Kechil Bashamayim v'Aretz. Yiseid is considered Kechil Bashamayim v'Aretz. And as the Targum Yenesan explains, what is Kechil Bashamayim v'Aretz? The Achid Shmaya v'Yara. Steht da? No. The Targum Yenesan, Targum says, what does it mean Kechil Bashamayim v'Aretz? It connects heaven and earth. And that's why this is the mediary to give over from the higher attributes to the attribute of Malchus. And Malchus draws it down into the lower worlds.
So basically, we're talking about human being, about the head.
We're talking about we're talking here about the midas of the emotions of the person.
Yeah, person. One person that.
Yeah, here he's speaking about the attributes, but I'm just saying how the Rebbe explains it. The Rebbe explained that this also goes on the physical space, and memela the kechas hanefesh. Shal yedei zeh heim nimshach